ladies and gentlemen, Krista.
On a snowy day in February, I walk through this town, watching the passers-by so happily go. I'm singing a tune all to myself, wishing these passers-by would sing along with me. Whoa, I need you to know. Whoa, I want you to know. Whoa, that I need to forget. I need to forget. Every day I seem to play the same motif, strumming on my strings, belting out a note or two, hoping I'm in tune, dreaming of the stars, Pegasus and Mars, but they seem just out of reach. Whoa, I need you to know. Whoa, I don't even know. Whoa, I need to forget. Whoa, to forget, I need to forget.
All right, that was great, Chris. Thank you for coming by and playing that for us.
You're welcome.
So you're not just a musician. I mean, you clearly are. I've seen you play multiple things from bass, guitar, piano, cello, violin.
I mean, that would still put me in the realm of musician, I believe.
But you do a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
What do you do also?
I'm basically would consider myself very knowledgeable when it comes to the music business. So I think I would call myself like a band manager.
Gotcha. Now, are you working with any bands currently, or what are you doing right now?
Well, I'm currently working on some projects with a guy named Jeff in the band called, well, his artist name is called Is He Misery. So it's really just him.
Gotcha.
And sort of managing him right now. But there's some good things happening for him right now, so we'll see what's happening there. Just giving that a try.
Awesome. And you also record on the side, and I remember for a while you were doing a little bit of tour booking. Is all that still going on, or?
Well, when I left Soletta, I did some management for them for a little bit, and I got them on some tours, but they sort of kind of decided on an indefinite hiatus at the moment, so that didn't really happen.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Soletta, and you, to a lot of my listeners, might know you as Chris from Committed, Soletta, and Skylife, all basically the same band with just different names.
Yeah. I was the only one who changed instruments each time. It's like, what was it? Committed bass and guitar. Then the Skylife was guitar. And then Soletta was piano.
So you just kept moving around. Meanwhile, Greg and Clark stayed on
Yeah, I'm really upset I didn't get to like the cowbell. That would have been great if I just got
you could have pulled that out at any time.
Like, do. We could have gotten like tango / salsa stuff going on.
Now, we've been friends for a while. We even lived together for a bit. And there's been some good memories from that apartment.
Yes.
There was recently someone posted a video on my Facebook of a taco night that we had one night during Weird Ass Movie Nights. But we also recorded random songs in your room, sort of on the fly. We would just randomly be like, I got a song idea. And then, me, you, and Jeff would just sit in there and just do the most ridiculous things. And even then, you were clearly the most serious about it.
Come on, guys, we're doing this. We got to take the third take. Like, well, why haven't we done this in one take? Like,
we were so set on just one take, and that's the song.
One take done.
We recorded one of my songs, hit single. We attempted to record, and we eventually scrapped the idea and almost went with going with a dance song instead. Mm-hmm. Nothing ever came from that, but I remember you...
Yeah, I never finished that. I still have that, though. As soon as I get this MacBook Pro up and running, maybe I could finish it.
I remember you were amazed by the fact that you described it as me singing both on key and off key at the exact same time, because I was singing in key with my out-of-tune guitar.
Yeah, you were doing a good job at doing that. So. I've never heard a guitar so completely out of tune, just like what would the word be? Cacophonous, right?
I think so, yeah.
It would just be horrible. And somehow you are able to pick out the one or two notes that were right and still sing on to. So I thought it was very interesting because I could never do that. That's a talent on a different level.
I think I need to get a new guitar because I recently had someone try to...
No, you don't need a new
Someone
guitar.
tried to tune it the other day and they're like, this is fucking impossible. And they just like threw it. They're like, I'm done.
This is not happening.
They tried for like a half hour and they're like, every time I
I
think
need
it's
to take
in
some
tune...
antidepressants. This is terrible.
They were like, every time I think it's in tune, it goes out of tune again. I remember even having those conversations with you. There's been shows where I think
it's a realm-shattering guitar. Because if you think you're a good guitarist or like musician, you try to tune this guitar and it just doesn't happen.
Well, and the other thing that people...
What's wrong with me?
I had someone once tell me that if I got a different guitar, I could potentially be an amazing guitar player, strictly because of how well I play that guitar with the action that's on it, because it's got like half an inch of action going that I just never bothered to take care of.
It does. It's like, man, my hands are tired. It's like you're pushing. It's like you're on a trampoline of strings. You're just trying to like get it down to the bottom.
Yeah, I had calluses like no other guitarist back in the day. It literally looked like I had shoved my fingers into nails. It was good times, though. I remember having a blast all those days. And, playing shows with Committed back in the day. I mean, you and I have had a history of at least, I would say, 6 or 7 years, it feels like.
Yeah, where you would play and...
Yeah, or I would book Committed on shows. I remember the first time I ever met you. There was 2 times I met you. The first time was you weren't in Committed. You were just a friend of Greg.
Yeah.
And I was doing coffee houses. And he's like, you should get Chris to do a show. And I had no clue who you were. I was like, all right. And you played and you kicked ass.
Oh, no, I did not kick ass.
I still have video of it. You kicked
you should
ass.
never,
that
ever
piano,
release that video.
You worked with a piano that was incredibly out of tune.
Definitely practiced about 15 minutes before that show, and that's
You
why we were late too.
Yeah, you showed up an hour late for the show.
We were practicing.
Oh, you said car trouble.
Yeah, I lied.
Fucker.
I waited all these years to tell you.
And then the second time was at the, now I think it's gone, but Kahunaville.
Oh, yeah.
I booked a show at Kahunaville with you guys, 5 Pi, Bombs Away, and My December. And that was pretty much My December's last show. And it was also last show for Committed's drummer, Jordan, because after that, Clark from My December became the drummer for Committed.
Yep, they switched places.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. Jordan is now a successful saxophone player for an orchestra in New York.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he played saxophone.
Yeah, he's amazing. And it's weird is that, New York, of all places.
Yeah.
I was literally in a subway in New York with Sammy, my girlfriend, and I saw him. And it's just like, Jordan? It's like, and he just was like, Chris, this is odd. We're in a subway together in New York. And he explained how successful he was, and then I bowed my head. It's like, I'm still playing in a band.
You might know them. They're called Committed.
I think it was the Skylife at that point, but
You might know them. They're called Skylife. It's basically Committed.
it's basically we decided to change our name because everyone hated us. So.
They hated Committed. And then apparently the band Skylight from Georgia really hated Skylight.
it's a way to trick people because we're like, man, Committed sucked, and I'm like, oh, what's this other band, the Skylife? Oh, wait a second, this is just Committed with less screaming.
I remember the ongoing battle because the whole Skylife thing happened while you were living in the apartment with us. You're like, I think we're going to change the name. We're thinking Skylife, and I was like, it sounds great. And then you had this ongoing thing where like, there's some band in Georgia that thinks they're the Skylife, and they clearly were the Skylife before you guys were.
They're not Georgia. I mean, if you're talking about country, you could compare the country Georgia to Canada, which is where they're from.
They were from Canada?
Yeah.
I swore they were from Georgia.
No.
They were a country group.
No. That's Committed. You're confusing the two names. Oh. There was a band in Texas of 13-year-olds that would call themselves Committed.
You know what's funny, actually, is... do you remember the Christian punk band Dogwood?
Yes.
Okay. Relatively popular band. I found a video of them performing at like a festival or something on YouTube one day. And I'm reading the comments, and it was posted by the band. And this kid posted, yo, man, love the band, but we got a problem. See, me and my friends just formed a band called Dogwood, and we were wondering if we could have the name. And he's like... Well, he's like, it's a good name and all, but, we've been playing for 15 years. We've got a pretty strong fan base that knows this is Dogwood. I feel like it'd be really misleading if you use the name on the flyers. And this kid just couldn't understand that. He's like, well, I mean, but, like, the people around here know us as Dogwood. It's
like when GE was bankrupt at the moment, right? When they're almost out of business, and like some other business comes up and says, can we just, since you guys are basically going to be gone soon, can we just use your name? We call ourselves General Electric. It doesn't matter. Your brand has no bearing. And Dogwood definitely was known. Like
Dogwood was real.
They weren't like platinum.
But they were, like especially in like the Christian punk music scene, they were like one of the top bands. Like they had like 15 albums or something. Like they were ridiculous.
They were good. I remember enjoying Dogwood.
Guy couldn't
never
sing
understood
too
why
well.
they called themselves Dogwood because
it was like the name of the wood that the cross was built or something like that.
I always thought of, and it's odd, a Christian band Dogwood. I always thought of like a dog with boner. And it was just odd. It's just like, yeah, Jesus loves you, dog boner.
They sounded like a almost like a bad version of Bad Religion. Because the guy, like, I love the band, but the guy just couldn't sing to save his life.
Yeah.
Bad
Religion eventually learned. I mean, that guy, what's his name?
I don't remember. He was a pissed off
I was
man.
just listening to his. He just released a book about how anarchy is probably the best form of anything.
Interesting. Are you an anarchist now?
I dabble in the idea, but then I realize humanity is just no. We won't go into that subject. I could become pretty cynical pretty quick.
All right. Well, it's looking like we're running a little bit out of time.
You're out of time.
Yeah. So, where can people keep up with you and the artists that you manage? What's the best way?
Well, I didn't mention that I was working on a project that is similar to sort of like the post-rock instrumental groups like This Will Destroy You and Limbic System, if you've ever heard of them. You can check that out. I'm working on it right now. It's not complete. It's called The Grand Flight.
All right.
Is the name of the project. It's all instrumental, cool stuff. I mean, I think the best, if a lot of people have heard Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's soundtrack for The Social Network.
Yeah.
So it's a lot like that. You can check that out, The Grand Flight. Just search it on Facebook. It's there. Also, Is He Misery? Check that out at Is He Misery? In MySpace. And whoever uses MySpace. No one. And what else do I do? That's it. I mean, I have some solo stuff. If you go to Pure Volume, you use Pure Volume. You can search Chris Hill, and I come up. But that's pretty much it. Right now, my main focus is recording bands under my production company called Hill Productions.
Nice.
You can check that out on Facebook. Too.
On Facebook, Hill Productions?
Yeah.
All right. So all you potential musicians out there that are kind of in the... I guess you're just specifically working on people near you in the tri-state area as opposed to, say,
near
in California.
Near me, who don't expect the best quality. But
good sale. Good
demo.
If you want to hear a brief example of the quality that Chris can give you, next week, if you're a subscriber on our RSS feed or our iTunes feed, you will hear a parody that I recorded while in the studio today. So... look for that on iTunes and in your RSS feeds. It won't be available on Geekscape.net.
And it literally, not to quote Lady Gaga, will be the best thing to come to the music business ever. So
pretty much, yes.
It'd be amazing. Because didn't she say that about her song? And then it just didn't flop. It just wasn't as good as she said it was. She's like, it's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, she wasn't born this way to make hit songs.
Yeah, don't be a drag. Wait, don't be a queen, just... Don't be a drag, just be a queen or something like
whatever. Fuck Lady Gaga.